Welcome to Redefining Balance for Working Moms podcast, where we believe life balance is possible. Yes, even for you. You might just have to redefine what it looks like for yourself. I'm your host, fellow working mom, and founder of Your Life Rocks, Jenny Stemmerman. Each week, I'll bring you practical, real-life tips to help you focus on the things that matter most in life and be the best version of yourself in every area that God has called you to. Ready to redefine what balance looks like for you and your life? Let's go. Hey there, welcome to the show and Merry Christmas. It is Christmas week and I am so excited. I'm praying that God would just bless you and your family as you move throughout the rest of this week and into the week that follows, going into the new year and really all year long. It's been quite the year, but I just want to thank you so much for watching the YouTube videos, subscribing over there, subscribing to the podcast, listening here, sharing it with your friends, all of the things that you have been doing all year long. And I want to remind you about a special virtual workshop that I will be doing for you for free next week on the 29th. Make sure you go to yourliferocks.com/New Year to sign up and reserve your spot. Now, during this virtual workshop, I'm going to be talking about how you can define balance for yourself as you start to move into the new year and really setting goals that make sense for where you are, your season that you're in, what balance means to you, and of course, putting God in front of all of it. It's going to be a super fun virtual workshop. And if you sign up, I will be sending out the replay. So if you can't quite make it live, then that's okay. You can watch it on replay, totally fine. But when we talk about balance, and really that's kind of the backbone of everything that we do here at Your Life Rocks, it's my mission, I feel like, to let all of you know that balance is definitely possible as a working mom. I know it feels like it's so heavy sometimes and that it just might not be possible. But I promise you, with the 3 principles that we're talking about today, God, community, and systems, it is definitely possible for you. And if you're really looking to how to create all of the systems for all 8 areas of your life, to kind of have a pattern to follow, like the checklist and what to focus on, what to pray about, what to be doing each and every single area of your life, we have our 12-week life balance method kicking off in January, and you can save some money by getting it in December. So go to yourliferocks.com. You'll see it at the top of the website. You can click there to learn more and sign up early for this amazing 12-week course, this amazing 12-week program that includes the Life Balance Planner. So you'll literally have all of the tools that you need to take the next 12 weeks, the first 12 weeks of the new year, and create balance for yourself. Still don't think balance is possible? Well, today I'm going to go through the 3 principles that when you have these 3 things in line in your life, balance is there for you. I hope you enjoy this best of series as I share with you really my background of why I truly believe that balance is possible for you. So let's get into it. Today's show is going to be a very fundamental topic, meaning this is something that I think we all need to know. We need to be reminded of. We need to keep in the back of our mind. Because just like I corrected myself when I said busy and changed it to productive, that's exactly kind of what this podcast episode is all about really taking control of our thoughts, our perception, and how we can really create balance in our life using our 3 main principles that we talk about here at Your Life Rocks. Now, I thought that this would be a really great episode. I've talked about this a number of times before, but I looked back and the last time that we did an episode on these 3 principles was in 2017. You guys, it's 2020. That was 3 years ago. So certainly, I feel like this is a topic that we need to circle around back to and talk about all over again. Plus, we have a lot of new listeners to the show. So you may have never heard me talk about these 3 principles before in detail. Now, I mention them all the time on episodes and as we're talking about different things, but it's different to go in depth so that you have a true understanding of what the recipe is on how a working mom like you can create balance in your life, however you define it. So let's just start there. Right? This podcast is called Redefining Balance. And I truly believe that balance looks different for every single person. And honestly, it probably looks different in every season of life that you're in. And that season of life can change very quickly. Sometimes it can go in one season for many years. Sometimes a season of life can change in a matter of months. So I think this is an important thing for us to always be looking at, always be adjusting how we define balance, because it truly is one of those things that we get to define what that looks like. There's a lot of things in life that are finite and we cannot change the definition of, but balance is not one of those things. Balance is one of those things that we can always be adjusting and figuring out what that looks like for us. And truly, when we're talking about redefining that balance, you can talk about like all of the details and what that looks like with all the moving parts, right? And we're going to get into that a little bit as we talk about these 3 principles. But more than anything, I want you to think about how you define balance and how you feel. You know, so many people will define balance as time, right? Like how much time you spend with your family, how much time you spend at your work. That's never going to be balanced unless you work like hardly any hours. But I work way over full-time hours a week. And I still think that I can find balance with my family because I don't define it by time. I define it by intention. I define it by growth. And really, am I moving my goals in all different areas? I mean, even when we talk about work-life balance, right? I don't even like that because there's work and then there's life. And in life, there's so many other parts to it. And that's why we talk about the 8 different areas of life, because I feel like that is probably a more realistic look at how we should be balancing our intentions, how we should be balancing our goals. And again, our time is never going to be split equally amongst all of those 8 things. But as long as we're reminding ourselves of those things, we're working towards those things. And that's exactly what we do inside the Life Balance membership, inside the Life Balance course, is I teach you the system to be able to do just that and not go crazy. Then when you're doing that, when you're moving forward in all those areas of life, to me, that's balance. It's unbalanced for me if I am not taking care of my finances and I end up in financial trouble, or if I'm not taking care of my marriage and that starts to have a lack. So for me, I define balance is kind of a counter to what it feels like when I'm unbalanced. And again, it goes back to how I feel when I'm unbalanced versus how I feel when I am balanced. So I just encourage you, before we even get into these 3 principles that we're going to be talking about today, that you just really take some time and think about, what would it feel like if I was balanced? And if you can't even imagine that, do the same exercise that I just kind of very quickly walked through and think about how you feel when you're unbalanced. I think that is something we can very easily put terms around because likely you might even be there right now. And so you can kind of be thinking about like, what does this feel like to feel the chaos and things are out of control and feeling like I'm never good enough? Like you can start to really put some words around that, right? And so when you start to think about what that feels like, what that looks like to be unbalanced, what's the opposite of that? Because the opposite of unbalanced is balanced. So if we can define what unbalanced looks like for you, then it's easy to define what balance would look like. And that is truly what this show is all about. It's what Your Life Rocks as a company is all about. And if you're new to this podcast, I want to let you know everything that is available to you as part of Your Life Rocks, because you just might not know. Now, we have this weekly podcast, absolutely. We also have an app that you can download totally for free in the App Store. It's called Your Life Rocks. And inside there, you'll find a couple courses that you can take for free. One of them is called the Weekly Success Planning Course, and it really guides you through one of our systems that we have in helping you set up a really strong week so that you can be very proactive about creating balance in your life and clearing away some of that chaos. Now, in addition to the course, inside the app, there's also a free tool that helps you kind of plan and execute what that weekly planning should look like for you. Also in the app, every single month, there's a free lifestyle guide. Now, the lifestyle guide gives you tips and inspiration to grow in all 8 areas. So there's articles and tips in there for your faith, your marriage, your parenting, career, health, home, finances, and friends and fun. Now, in addition to all of the free content that we have inside of the app, there is a member side of the app that you can pay for and you can join and be part of the Life Balance movement. Now, when you join inside the membership, you'll have access to all kinds of courses, including the Life Balance course that teaches you the system to help you create balance, however you define it. Plus, there's courses in there on things like developing a morning routine. Our very first course in there is called Clear the Chaos. It's a 7-day course that's designed to help you do exactly that. Clear the chaos, provides immediate results to you. And it is one of my favorite courses. And we'll be adding in some more courses as well. And as a member, it goes beyond just what's available inside of the app. There's also a whole membership website that you have access to that you can get planning tools, a member exclusive podcast, and so much more. So that is what Your Life Rocks is about. We've talked about what it means to define balance. Now, let's get into these 3 principles for creating balance in your life. Now, these 3 principles are true however you define what balance looks like to you. This is not one of those things that's like a pick and choose. You can have 1 out of the 3 or 2 out of the 3. With all of the women that I have coached throughout the year, as much as I myself have been out of balance and then back in balance in my life, these are the 3 truths that are mainstays. If you truly want to have balance in your life, this is what you need. Let's start with number 1. Number 1 is putting Jesus first and foremost in your life. Now, it's one thing to have religion. It's one thing to go to church, but it's a whole nother thing when you seek him first above that next promotion at work, above hanging out with your friends, above all of the other things that can be a distraction, right? All of the things that can cause stress and can cause chaos. When we're focusing first on him, everything else will be given to us. The Bible says that, and that is truly the Bible verse that we anchor ourselves with Your Life Rocks, is Matthew 6:33. When you seek him first, all the other things will come. So if you're looking to get your health back, if you're looking for a better marriage, if you're looking to be a better mom, whatever that looks like for you, when you seek him first, those things will come. Those things will come. He will guide you in those things, but it is a matter of you aligning with his will, which is one of the Bible studies that we have inside of the Life Balance membership, where it really gives you a deeper dive into scripture, gets you into the Bible, into the Word of God to see, what does he say about your career? What does God say about being a parent? What does he say about being a wife, your home, your finances, all of those things? But when you're aligning yourself with his will, that, my friends, is a magical place to be in. And just the weight off of your shoulders of trusting in him each and every single day is amazing. That is why it's number 1. And like I said, you really need all 3 to find balance. But really, if you just have number 1, you are heads and shoulders away from where you were without that. So if it's been a while since you have turned to God, since you've prayed, since you've opened your Bible, since you've really kind of put him first in your life, I would just challenge you to start with praying. Just challenge yourself to pray every single day, set an alarm on your phone, create a reminder, whatever that looks like. If you want me to help pray for you, you can send me an email or tag me inside of our Facebook group. My email is jenny@yourliferocks.com. I have a prayer list in my Life Balance Planner that I am praying for people each and every single week. And it is truly the number 1 focus and drive for what we do here at Your Life Rocks is to help women that are lost in the fog, as me and my friend Amber like to say. When you're lost in the fog and you just feel like, oh my gosh, I don't even know which way is up, we want to help show you the way back to the Father, way back to Jesus, so that you can really find and create that balance for yourself. So that is number 1. Okay. Number 1, having Jesus first and foremost in your life. And really, it's not even just about having him first in your life, but really seeing the rest of your life through him. Like it's a filter, right? A filter of Jesus that you are seeing everything else through, because that truly does matter. And when you do that, my friends, the burden is off of you. If you feel like you're the one who has to do everything, you're the one that has to control everything, nothing gets done unless you put your hand on it, then this is by far the most freeing thing you can do, is look at your life through the filter of Jesus and let him handle some of this stuff. That's what he's there for. He's the helper, right? He's the helper. So let him help you in your life as you're trying to create this balance for yourself. All right. Pillar number 2 is community. Now, there are different layers to this whole community idea. And, I will say, I am the ultimate introvert. If I could never leave my house, it would be amazing. If I had a whole week, if I had a whole month to be alone in my home, no one here, I That would be like a dream come true. I know it sounds horrible, right? But that's just who I am. Yet I understand this need for community. And some people are going to have a bigger community, a deeper community, but you need to have some kind of community because we can't go this route alone. We need help. Maybe that help is hired. Maybe that help is family. Maybe that help is church friends. But it goes even beyond having extra hands to help you balance everything and do everything that needs to get done. It goes to a much deeper level. When we're talking about community, it really comes down to your heart and how you are serving people, how you are loving people, because ultimately that is what God has called us to do, right? Is to further his kingdom by loving others and being the light in the dark places of this world. And maybe the dark places of this world are the office that you're in, or the school that your kids go to, or the neighborhood that you're in, or even your family. I mean, if you can be the light there to other people, you are spreading the kingdom of God. You are spreading the community of God. And that is why community is so important. Hey there, I wanted to hop into this episode to let you know about some free things I have for you to help you end the year strong and start out the new year in the best way possible. The free holiday sanity tools are available inside the Your Life Rocks app, or you can go to holidaysanity.com to get them on your computer. The Your Life Rocks app is inside the App Store, and you can link to it directly by going to yourliferocks.com/Google or yourliferocks.com/Apple. And on December 29th, I want to invite you to a free virtual workshop. Together, we will be putting God first and plan for balance in the new year. Now, if you can't make it to the workshop live, if you sign up, I'll send you the replay and workbook so you can do it when it fits into your schedule. Be sure you save your spot and go to yourliferocks.com/New Year. Now, let's get back to the episode. Now, here's another reason why community and having people around you is so important. A long, long time ago, and maybe you've heard me tell this story before, and now you get to hear me tell it again. I was being mentored by an older woman in our church, and I absolutely adored her. I mean, she was just a very special gift from God. And she was mentoring me through all kinds of things in a transition period between jobs and not knowing what that next step was going to be. And there's just a lot of past things I needed healing from. And she just provided a lot of counsel to me, which was such a gift. And one of the times that we were meeting and she was counseling me and I was talking to her about all these things, I don't even remember all of the things I was talking to her about, but just, all of the problems, all of the things that were stressing me out and the unknowns and, all of the things. And she just looked at me and she said, "Your world is so small. Your world is so small." And what she was meaning by that, and we talked about this a little bit more, but when you don't have community and other people around you, you can get so focused on yourself, which when you're focused on yourself, you start to see all of the problems. And the problems start to seem really, really big because you are so close to it. But when you start to widen your circle, when you start to build a bigger community, you naturally are moving away from your problems to make room for that community, for other people. And when you move away from your problems, guess what? They seem a whole lot smaller. And when they seem a whole lot smaller, then they're doable. Or you can just ignore them, or you can fix them, or you can do whatever you need to do to the problems, but they seem so much smaller when you have other community, other people. And the reason for this is when you don't have community, the only inputs you really have going on, the dialogue that goes on in your head, the things you're thinking about, praying about, it's all for you. But when you have community, all of a sudden, now you're praying for other people. You're thinking about their situations and how they must feel and having compassion for them. And the focus is no longer just on you. It's now on other people. And when you can focus yourself on other people, that's when your problems seem smaller. And that is when you get to be a blessing to more people too. So even if you don't have a tight-knit family, even if you don't have a lot of physical people around you, there are things that you can do to widen your community. You can join our Facebook community and offer to pray for other women. You can offer advice when people ask questions in there and help support other working moms. You can look around in your neighborhood and see who might need help on your street, in your church, people at your work. Who can you be praying for? How can you just ask people, how are you doing today? Like really, what's going on in your life and how can I help you? When you start to shift that focus onto other people, balance will happen. I know it seems so counterproductive. Trust me, you're thinking, I can barely handle my own stuff, let alone taking on burden from other people. But this is where it becomes this magical miracle thing of God, right? Where He will bless you in this way when you are loving and serving other people. He just kind of expands time. He expands time in this way. I did a live Facebook video inside of our membership community in December about this, how sometimes when you're just really in alignment with God, He just does supernatural things. And all of a sudden, when you think you don't have time, now you have time. When you think you don't have energy, you have energy. And this is kind of what that piece is about. Like when you're doing these things supernaturally, you will experience what you need in order to do what you need to do. All right, so we talked about number 1, putting Jesus first. Number 2, having that community. Now let's talk about number 3. Number 3 are the systems. Now, you can tell me that you don't like systems, that you don't like planning, that you don't like all of that stuff. Well, guess what, my friends? I am the biggest rebel there is. I do not like being told what to do. If I have something on my schedule, it feels super confining to me, and I just don't like it. I mean, just to give you an example, I have a podcast interview. I will be on another podcast here in about 20 minutes. And all morning long, I've been like, oh, maybe I should cancel it. Maybe I should. I just don't like having that kind of stuff over me. But it is necessary because when we have systems in our life, then we can start to operate. When things start to become a habit, then we don't have to make decisions about things. And oftentimes our overwhelm, our fatigue, all of the chaos that happens in our life that helps us live unbalanced is because we are making decisions all day long and we get decision fatigue. But when you have systems that create habits, you're no longer making decisions and it frees up so much more energy. Not to mention the fact that when things are a little bit more structured in your life and you kind of know what to expect and you're looking ahead and you have a clear intention for where you want to go, it just feels better. Even if you feel like you're not the person that likes to live like that, having some kind of structure helps out a ton. Now, this is where the free course that we have inside the app, Weekly Success Planning, is just one of those systems, right? It's that weekly system of being able to look ahead at the week, decide what needs to be done, and really preparing yourself for success. Now, when you do the course, you'll notice it's not just that simple. Like, I'm going to help you set some goals when you take that course. I'm going to really kind of dive a little bit deeper so you can create a bigger vision, because without the vision, people fail, right? Without the vision, we don't know where we're going, and you don't even know what to plan for, right? You're just kind of in survival mode. The intention isn't there. So that free course really helps us set you up for success using just one of those systems. Now, inside the Life Balance membership is where I teach you all of the other systems. So this is where we talk about, one, the main thing, the Life Balance system, which encompasses a 90-day plan, which includes monthly planning, weekly planning, daily planning. You also have a lot of planning tools. I know I'm saying planning a lot, but in there, there's things like your career SOPs. Like, how do you create some patterns around your career? How are you creating those systems? So we talk about how to do those things quarterly, monthly, weekly, the things you could be doing daily to help you in your career and moving things forward. Same thing with your family and your finances. That's why we call them SOPs, your standard operating practices. So these systems that you learn inside of Life Balance membership really help to set you up for success. Because when you start to learn these things and then you start to do these things, in the beginning, it can feel hard. And in the beginning, you can say, I don't know if I have time to learn to do it. But my friends, you don't have time not to. Because without these systems, you are just in survival mode and you're just taking things as they come, which, in certain seasons of life is totally okay. Like when you have a newborn or, something like that is happening, you're grieving, take each day at a time. Like just, you got to survive. You got to just do what you got to do. But to spend your entire life like that, then you're going to turn around and look back and say, I wish I would have done this better. I wish I would have took better care of my finances, took better care of my health, been more present with my kids. But when you have the systems, you don't have to have that regret because it allows you to look forward, make those plans, create that vision, and then you can turn around and implement those things that you need to do in order to live it out each and every single day. This is why we call it moving your mountain, is the term that we use inside of Life Balance membership, where you can have that intention. But oftentimes, from where we are right now to where we want to go, it's a lot of stuff between us, like a mountain of stuff between us, right? The things that need to get done or cleared away or whatever it might be. I mean, you think about just this example, right? If you want to have like a clean and organized house, but maybe your house right now is just a hot mess and there's just Christmas tree still up or just stuff everywhere, paper everywhere. Like these are all of the things that stand in the way from where you are now to where you want to go. And you can look at all that and say, there's no way that I could possibly get from here to there. But when you follow the Life Balance system, we teach you the things that help you get from here to there. And it's not about being perfect. It's not about over scheduling anything. In fact, we talk a lot about margins and white space, and fun is one of our pillars. So it's important that we have a balanced approach to how we want to grow in all of these different areas, using systems so it's not overwhelming and it becomes a habit and it's something that we can then stick to regardless of the season of life that we're in, regardless of what comes our way. We've got a system for that. We can get right back in. Trust me, there's been times where there has been an extremely busy time at work, or my son has gotten extremely sick and we ended up in the hospital, all kinds of things that have interrupted my systems and caused me to feel chaotic, caused me to feel overwhelmed. But as soon as I go back to my system, starting with my weekly planning, starting with my 90-day goals and vision, it all clears up. It gets so much easier, and it can do the same thing for you. So let's review what we talked about on this episode. So number one is defining what balance looks like for you and really taking some time to think about what that would look like. And again, the easiest way to do that is to think about how you feel when you're unbalanced, because that will tell you the opposite will be balance, right? So define what that looks like for you. And then you can start moving through those 3 pillars. The first pillar is really putting God first, looking at the rest of your life through the lens of Jesus, through the filter of Jesus. Number 2 is having that community and being involved in it. And then number 3 is learning the systems. And the very first system I invite you to learn and to implement into your life is the Weekly Success Planning course. You can get that by going to weeklysuccessplanning.com or download the Your Life Rocks app, which is probably the easiest way because then you get the tool for your planning as well. And you can get that in any of your app stores. Just search Your Life Rocks. I'll put a link in the description for this show so that it will make it really easy for you to find it in either iTunes or to find it in Google Play. If you're an Android user like me, then you can have that tool right at your fingertips, and it's all completely free. And that's the very first system I highly recommend that you do. I hope that these 3 pillars were helpful for you and helping you find balance for your life and helping you really take that first step forward, because it is January. We talk a lot about goals, but I think ultimately, whether we're a goal setter or not, we crave balance. We want to be growing. We want to be better and everything that God has called us to do. And that is truly the mission here at Your Life Rocks. We have some amazing guests coming up in the next couple weeks. So I hope that you hit subscribe so that you don't miss any of their incredible wisdom. I mean, we're going to be talking about mom anger. We're going to be talking about finances and so much more. So stay tuned. And until then, keep building a life that rocks. Bye. Hey, just because the episode's over doesn't mean we have to stop hanging out. Head on over to Instagram and follow me there. You can find me at your.life.rocks. Or if you're more of a Facebook kind of girl, join our community of working Christian moms just like you. You can search Your Life Rocks over on Facebook and connect with us there. And if you're ready to truly create lasting balance and get results in your life, maybe it's time for you to join Life Balance membership. Download the Your Life Rocks app in iTunes or in Google Play. You can upgrade to the membership right inside the app. And if you're looking for more resources to help you create more balance, head on over to yourliferocks.com.